beyond what you might presume it to be. Now, our next presenter is going to kind of throw a twist into the presentation format. We tend to be very strict. As you can see, it's pretty rigorous, 20 images, 20 seconds each. But that's how we deal with our images. She's going to challenge you to engage another part of your senses. And with that, I'm going to let you curiously anticipate Yosh. Please give her a warm welcome.
Hi. So under your chairs, you will find a little plastic bag. If you don't have one, then look in the chair next to you. And if you don't have one, just say hello to your neighbor. So I love the different presenters that we've had because I love this idea of technology that we just heard about. Well, what happened? There was a recent survey, a global survey that said that 53% of the youth would rather give up their sense of smell than give up a piece of their technology. And I thought, well, what would India be like if we didn't have their colors and their sense of smell? And we've seen through Daniel that, how important sight is, but what about our sense of smell? So what you'll see is 3 different little scent strips. The first one is entitled India, and we have roses from India. The previous image was Mati, a distillation. And roses, we have so many in our foods from India. This particular slide is called Headspace Technology from Givaudan. And normally you would have to have natural materials to get the essential oils. And this is, Headspace Technology where they can capture the odor of plants and synthesize it in a lab. This is their scent columns by Frederic Malle. He's a perfume publisher, and this is his boutique in Paris, but we have scent columns at Barney's in San Francisco downtown, which you can enjoy, and what they do is you spray the fragrances in a neutral zone, and then you can smell the fragrance as if it's in fresh air. This is a piece by Ernesto Neto. He's a Brazilian artist, and the gentleman is smelling spices that are in this biomorphous, soft thingamabob. And this was installed at the Armory in New York, over 55,000 square feet, so it's pretty intensive. And this is the first guy here on the left. That's Christopher Radamel. He's a perfume rock star, and this is a green aria. It's a scented opera where those microphones emitted smells every 6 seconds. What you have in your hand is a paper aroma flute, which is more like John Waters' Smell-O-Vision. Those scent bubbles are from another perfume rock star, Francis Kurjan, and those scent bubbles are at Versailles, and every one of those bubbles is scented with Louis XIV's favorite smells: pear, melon, strawberries. So you can imagine how fragrant that might have been if you're looking out along the gardens in Paris. This is a Japanese artist in Rotterdam, and she deconstructed the smell of Chanel No. 5. She's sprayed the fabric in different spots with single materials, but when you smell it in the middle where she's standing, the perfume is reconstructed in your mind. So that just happened last weekend in Rotterdam. This is a Japanese artist. She made the flower arrangements, and the audience was blindfolded. This is in Rome. Oh no, I'm sorry, this was in Milan. And what was amazing is she only used fragrant plant materials, and so when you close your eyes, you could really smell the different bouquets. She made about 5 different bouquets, and every one was different. The top artist they're both smell maps. The one on the top, it shows the red dots are the original points of the smells, and then the blue lines are how the wind affects the smell. The one on the bottom is a smell map in Edinburgh, and they're by 2 different artists, and the one on the bottom is a smell walk. And this is actually a really cool thing. It's a scented advertisement in London, and the bus is warm with the smell of hot potatoes. They tried to do the same thing in San Francisco about 6 years ago, the milk campaign, and like true ecologists, San Francisco turned it down. This is your second strip, which is the smell of curry. This is Sita Bomik's work. She's a Japanese Indian Colombian artist here in Oakland, and that wallpaper is actually made from powdered curry. If you have a chance to view her work, it's really amazing. This is Sisal Tolis, a scent researcher, and she's kind of a instigator. She's smelling paint, which is, it says guy number 8, but she took 13 guys under stress and packaged their armpit odor with the smell of fear. So that paint is fear. This is a Dutch artist, Wim, I think his name is, I can't pronounce it. You'll have to ask me later. This is installed also in Amsterdam, and it's just a floor installation of peanut butter, so you can imagine that smell when you walked in. Pretty intense. This was actually 30 years ago, and they recreated it and bought it last year. This is a scent piano that I designed, and it was installed by Justin from Somarts. And you play the piano using your sense of smell. It's a Hanami haiku, cherry blossoms, top notes, middle notes, bass notes for each stanza of the haiku. And this was here in San Francisco. How many of you saw this, the San Francisco wine exhibit? I think this is so cool. You pressed the bulb, and then the smell of the wine came through the contraption. And that same scent artist who did the smell of fear actually on the side had an installation of what she imagined to be Robert Parker's mouth drinking a perfect bottle of wine. This is a Norwegian artist. The bottom image is scented tattoos, and then the image on the top, they're both using nanotechnology. It's micro encapsulation, and so when you touch it's like a fancy scratch and smell basically. And this is new. She's an artist. I have her name written down on my notes, but I can't remember her name now. But she was recently at the TED conference a month ago, and she's developed this thing called Swallowable Perfume. So when you ingest it, it digests in your fat cells basically, and so when you sweat, you'll smell of your perfume rather than spraying it on. And the final image is your last scent strip, the third one, the Gilded Lily, by a San Francisco perfumer named Inika. And it's called the Gilded Lily, but this drink is also called the Gilded Lily at the Alembic. So there's a lot of play interaction between food and smells. So that was a fast 20 seconds, 20 images. All right, well, I'll have the perfumes also on the side if you want to check them out too. Thanks a lot.